What's going on, guys? Chris Roma here, Things by Roma. Getting out into the spring garden. It's April 22nd, 2 days after our predicted last frost date for the season. So, just getting out here, showing you what we got going so far. We'll start over in this corner. I did get some Brussels sprouts and some cabbages and some cauliflower in here. So we have savory perfection cabbage and some Catskill Brussels sprouts here. Here we have some purple Sicily cabbage and some heirloom Brussels sprouts. They were just called heirloom sprouts, so I don't know which heirloom. That's not a very descriptive name unless there's a Brussels sprout named heirloom sprouts, but we'll see. So here we have this is a graffiti cauliflower, and here's another savory perfection cabbage, and our Romanesco broccoli. So this is kind of like a cool Fibonacci cone looking broccoli, kind of cool. So back here, that's where the potatoes were last year. I'm ripping that up. That's just going to be garden path with wine camp mushrooms. So I have wood chips that I'm gonna put all throughout here, and we're gonna put some wine cap mushroom spore down and try to grow some mushrooms in the path here. So our raspberries, these are the heritage red raspberries. They seem to be the most prolific of the raspberries I have. They last the longest, produce the most fruit. They just do really well in my area in Buffalo, New York here. But you can see we're getting some green on the raspberry bushes, which is awesome. Behind me, we have some more. Here we have the garlic coming in. So here, let me get on this side so my shadow's not in the way. So this is more Brussels sprouts and some garlic. Again, this is all just cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. This is early Jersey Wakefield cabbage, so this is kind of more of a conical, taller cabbage that you harvest pretty early. I think it's like 60 days till harvest, so that should be one of the first cabbages that we get. And then just some more garlic in here. We are going to do the square foot method of bed planting here. And then here's another Romanesco broccoli. Over here, the purple Sicily, and this was a strawberry bed that I put a bunch of dirt over, thinking the strawberries would just kind of go away or rot and become plant food for the plant bed, but they are doing strong. They are coming right back up through all that extra dirt I put in. I'm not mad at all. That's just extra strawberries. I am still going to plan on using this as a square foot gardening bed, but strawberries are just going to pop up wherever they want in it as well. These are just left over from last year where I had all of my pepper plants. These are not going to be here next year, or if they are, they'll probably be something else or directly in the ground. But you can see over here more of the raspberry coming in, but this stuff's a little bit slower down over on this stuff. So over here we have some lanthium raspberries, and there's a couple other kinds. I can't remember the names of them. But over here we have some more garlic. This is the music hardneck garlic coming up in here, and again, it's just more. We have the purple dragon carrot seeds planted over in there. I think on the other bed over there we had some carrots that I missed too. Here we have some Lulu Sang carrots planted, but none of them are sprouting yet. You can see the graffiti cauliflower, and then here's the new raspberries I just planted. These are some golden raspberries, so we'll see if they take and they come up. I hope they really do. They're supposed to be really, really tasty, so I can't wait to see how those guys taste. This mulberry tree, I think I am deciding I am going to rip this mulberry tree out. And I'll tell you why in a minute, but we'll get to that in a second. And here is this is a Methley plum tree. Not really seeing any buds coming on it yet. It hasn't really woken up from dormancy yet, it doesn't seem. However, the peach tree, this is our peach tree is definitely waking up. There's a lot of buds, a lot of really nice looking nice looking buds coming out here. So hopefully that peach tree is waking up and looking really nice. That's a Red Haven peach tree. This is a Liberty apple tree. Also looks like it's starting to wake up, just getting a little budding up here at the tips. So starting to wake up. I did graft a Honeycrisp apple branch here, so hopefully that graft will take, and this will have Liberty and Honeycrisp at the same time. And I do plan on grafting more. Speaking of the Honeycrisp apple, so I mentioned in my last video this Honeycrisp apple tree I got for free from Home Depot because it was blowing around the parking lot, not even in a pot. And the guy, I asked if I could get a discount, and he gave it to me for free. And look, it is waking up from dormancy. And that is why I'm going to be ripping out the mulberry, because the mulberry tree, the birds get all the mulberries before I even have a chance to before they even develop. Basically, as soon as the berries turn into just a little bit of a speck of a berry, the birds get them. So I'm ripping out that mulberry tree, and I'm going to put in that Honeycrisp apple tree over there. I'm thinking of grafting it to a dwarf rootstock before I do that, but that's a whole nother story. We'll get to that in a minute too. So this is another plum tree. I forget the name. This is our Methley plum. Yeah, so this is the Methley plum tree. And then over there that's maybe what I called that one. I don't remember. I forget what the other plum tree is. I'll think of it in a minute, I'm sure. But over here we have butterfly bushes and some Texas hummingbird mint plants. So they should be coming back. They're starting to come back in a little bit here. And we're definitely getting some growth over here. So those are starting to come back nice. Here we have a thornless blackberry tree. That's a Freedom 48 thornless blackberry. And then some blueberries. Bunch of strawberries coming up here. Sorry, we're going to see my shadow this whole time, so we'll get a different angle. But here, we've got some more more blackberries there. Sorry, it's another Freedom 48 thornless. And then more blueberries, all strawberries. There's some grapes there. More blackberries, strawberries, blueberries. There's grapes there, but they look like they maybe didn't make it through the winter. We'll see if they come back. Here, more strawberries, another grape, strawberry, blueberries, and you guys get the point. So here we're running into a lot of strawberries coming up, and then just more blueberries, strawberries, blueberries. This is lavender. The lavender is starting to come in and look beautiful. And then over here, this is an azalea. Karen's azalea is the name of it, specifically. Oh, the radishes. So we already have a bunch of radishes going. We have the cherry giant, the Malaga, the scarlet globe, French breakfast, the Polish one I can't pronounce, and 18 jours. So which hopefully these radishes will be ready to eat probably in a week or two. Now over here, our Bing cherry tree. Like the Bing cherry tree. It's definitely awake from dormancy. Yay, we are getting some leaves coming out of this guy. So that is super cool to see this tree waking up from dormancy. And then we'll take a walk over here and we can see our current plants. We have a gold and a red. I'm not sure which is which. I got these for free on Facebook Marketplace last year. Just threw them over here, and I lost track of which one was which. And I've never even had a currant before, so I can't wait to try them. But you can see we're definitely getting some nice growth on these plants already, which is super cool. Here we have a Chicharro pear, Asian pear, also known as the butterscotch pear. I just put this in at the beginning of this season. So hopefully that'll start growing. Not expecting fruit for a couple years on that. And then this is the black Tartarian cherry. Seems to be waking up as well. That's super cool. Over here we have our rhododendron and some weeds. And I forget, this is a phlox, I think. I forgot out what else was over here. And then over here we have foxglove. A bunch of foxglove that's waking up and coming to life, which is super cool. So this is the second year for the foxglove, and they are biennials, so they should be blooming this year, which is super cool. But here's some lamb's ear. The lamb's ear is waking up, coming back to life. And then some, I think those are lilies over there. Or, yeah, tiger lilies. So let's go check out the seedlings. Okay, so indoors, once we come in the house, this is the collection I have on my desk. It's growing. I need to move some stuff, but this is what it is right now. And as you can see, we have some purple print zinnia right here that are really tall. I got them up here. They're getting light in the morning. They need to get outside. Here's a really nice Monstera deliciosa elbow. Got a couple more Monstera deliciosa elbows over here. Strawberry shake philodendron. Here we have the variegated Rapidora tetrasperma, also known as mini Monstera. Here we have it's the same family as Apothos, but it's not Apothos because it has these really nice fenestrations. This is a silver sword philodendron. A bunch of different ficus, so ficus ruby, Taneki, moonshine, and black prince burgundy. Yep. Over here we have our Adora Bartique alocasia and our variegated Gagiana aurora. Up on my desk, this is my Monstera Thai constellation. I love this guy. Awesome, beautiful, gorgeous looking plant. I just uppotted into this big pot and pond. And then here we have another Monstera deliciosa elbow, Monstera adansani mint, and then there's another adansani mint there underneath. And then our adansani elbows. This is our King Anthurium, and this is a crystallinum. Beautiful, look at this leaf. Anthurium crystallinum, dark form. There we have philodendron orange princess. It's a gorgeous plant. It was big one, but I cut it up, so I have a couple now. Here's a Monstera deliciosa white monster. That's going to be a beautiful plant when it gets bigger too. And then a couple more philodendron strawberry shakes in here. This is the queen anthurium, so we have the king and the queen. Here's a Ginny Galaxy begonia. Here's my coffee. Don't mind if I do. And then, oh yeah, sorry, I guess we got sucked into the houseplants along with the garden tour, guys. But it's because I kind of wanted a lot of this stuff I just kept alive on my plants over winter to bring back outside. It's like, so this coleus, this one in particular, I grew from seed. This is Fairway Mosaic, I think it's called. I grew it from seed this season. This is a variegated Frydek. So the variegated Frydek is, you don't need to say the variegated. All Frydeks are variegated. Here's our pink princess philodendron. One of my favorite. I love these guys. Here's another pink princess philodendron. And then this is my pink bambino alocasia, pink lady peppermosa, pink ghost amazonica, pink black velvet. And here we have a Machiayana calathea, some golden pothos just growing up the side here. And then down here we have a Calathea Freddy, some Rex begonia. And then here's what I'm talking about. So this coleus came from the garden outside last year. I mean, this is a cutting of what came outside last year because it grows so fast. I had to keep cutting and then repropagating it just to keep it alive. And you'll see once I get into the basement how many coleus cuttings and propagations I have, and I could probably take many, many more, but this coleus is one of my favorite plants. I love it. It's so easy to propagate. So I forget the names of all these coleus. This is a black dragon that I grew from seed as well. And then back here we have a pretty shabby looking begonia brevemosa. And this is a philodendron burl max, or aurora. And this is Snow Queen aglonema,
or Alternathea. One of those. Can't remember. Here's our elbow syngonium. I have a love-hate relationship with syngoniums. I can't decide if I like them or not. Here's a Snow Queen pothos. And then another beautiful coleus. This is probably one of my favorite coleuses. Just looks so nice. Here's a variegated silver dragon, or variegated dragon scale alocasia. And more another golden pothos. These guys, again, they just grow so fast. Here's some more purple Prince Zinnia. So this stuff's 2 feet tall. I grew it from seed. It's only about 4 weeks old. And I can't wait to get it outside. The problem is it's still too cold outside. So all this stuff is just piling up, waiting to go outside. And I can't wait to get it outside. So, but down here, this is an orange marmalade philodendron and a Birkin philodendron. And I believe that does it for the plants on that shelf. And then real quickly over here we have another Frydek. Throwing a pure white leaf at the moment, which is kind of cool. And then this is a Black Majesty philodendron, Party Time, Alternathea, a whole bunch of syngoniums. So we have the elbow, the batik, tie plink splash, roly, milk confetti, batik, starlight, all in one pot there, which is pretty cool. And then down here we have the orange flash spider plant. Well, let's get in the basement. So this is the meat and potatoes of really what still needs to get going outside here. Although some of it will stay indoors year round. So these are the coleus cuttings I took, I don't know, maybe a month and a half back, thinking these would be small when I move them outside, and they're already growing up to the grow lights. So the coleus just grows like out of control and is crazy, and I'm already going to have so much coleus when the season starts and I can move this outside, which is gorgeous because they're one of my favorite plants. And then back here we have some bloodleaf cuttings, and here we have some peas going. My ground cherries are getting out of control. We already have some fruit going, which you would think is a good thing, but it's not. You definitely do not want them to start budding and flowering this soon, especially before they're even outside. As you'll see in a minute, my tomatoes are kind of doing the same thing, as well as the peppers. So I really can't wait to get these outside, but it's still a little too cold. Here's some spinach that we got going, and I just planted some dill, some chives, and some garlic chives yesterday. And here's some lettuce that I just started as well. Over here we have our eggplant. We have the Listata Degandia and the Ping Tung eggplants. And these guys are looking pretty good as well. They luckily have not started flowering yet, thankfully. But here you can see the pepper plants are already flowering, which is not, again, that's not good. It's too early for that. We don't want them doing that. There's no pollinators in my basement. It's too cold for there really to be pollinators outside at the moment. So we don't have any use for flowers without pollinators. So again, these are more peppers. So these are the Jimmy Nardellos and our Gypsy peppers. And these are all our bell peppers, like our Zulu and our Purple Beauty. And here we have the same problem as the vegetables. These are marigolds I planted from seed. They're only about a month old, and they are already about 2 feet tall, just waiting to get outside. But again, it's just too cold. These guys like it warm. So same problem. We got some big marigolds next year. I'm not starting anything from seed until like mid-April. Even though I followed the directions on the seed pack to like 4 weeks before last frost date, it's still too much. But there's the marigolds. And then over here we have even more coleus, again, growing up to the top of the grow light. So they need to be cut back and pruned again. But I have a hoarding problem. So every time I cut them, I can't just throw it out. I have to propagate it and grow more. But as you can see, I'm running out of space for propagations. So again, the last one, here's some more that I couldn't throw out. I just had to propagate them because I can't throw them out, even though I have tons already. But back here we got some Monstera Standaleona and some basil cuttings. Here's another orange princess cutting that I took that's starting to grow. Another Black Majesty philodendron. Then down here we have a purpley alocasia, polyalocasia, silver dragon. All these I grew from corms, which is kind of like a bulb for an alocasia. So that's why a lot of them are little tiny guys. This is an Alizani alocasia. Another pink lady pepermosa. This is a mystery alocasia. I must have gotten I reused soil. So I'm basically growing this to grow my marble epinemerum, which is that plant upstairs that I said was kind of like a pothos, but a little bit different because of the fenestrations. This is the mother plant from that I took a cutting. So as you can see, or can you see, right there, there's a little growth coming up from this stem right here from where I cut it. So I'll make another plant. But when I reuse the soil, I'm getting this alocasia popping up here. So I don't even know which one that is. We'll see. And then here I got a bunch of alocasia corms in their little greenhouses. So there's a black velvet corm right here just waiting to sprout. Hopefully these all sprout. And then look at this Texas hummingbird mint getting ready to flower, growing up towards the green light. So we have some Texas hummingbird mint and then some foxgloves over here. The first year foxgloves. This is all from seed. Again, waiting to get outside. And over here, we're back. We got some more coleus. It's getting tall, tall, tall. These were actually, I believe this is the actual mother plant that I pulled out of the garden from the end of last season, so it didn't die. So there might be one surviving, and I know from this Persian shield here in the pond, this high semi-hydroponic stone here, that is definitely from a cutting that I took from the mother plant from the garden. So this is the one that I made all these other Persian shields from. And then here we just have some more pepermosa. Here we have this is super cool. This is a Zebrina alocasia. Look at the stem on that. That is super cool plant. Here's a Sigonium batik, Scalprum alocasia, and then here's my Velvet Antonio, Black Antonio alocasia. They're just big old aloe plant, and then just a couple more Rex begonia cuttings and some polka dot plant thrown in there. Here we have one of my first philodendrons I ever bought. That's an orange prince. It's growing kind of slow down here under the grow lights. Not nearly as fast as it was on my desk upstairs. But there's no more room on my desk upstairs. And it looks like we're getting another growth point right there, which is probably why the growth slowed down. And then here we have an Alocasia nobilis. And here we have a Ring of Fire philodendron. I have a couple of these. This is from the cutting I took. And some, I think these are called rose aloes, but they're very pretty. And then here's my white wizard philodendron. That was the first philodendron I ever bought. And it's looking pretty rough. I'm probably going to cut it up. I don't know why it looks so bad. It's never looked good. Never been able to get it to look good, so we might just do a restart on that. And then here's the tomato bushes. So these are my tomato plants. They're only 4 weeks old. They already have blossoms, which is, again, I said that's a no good. That's a bad thing. They're getting way too big for the cells that they're in, but I don't want to replant them because then they will take up even more space than they're taking up now. So I'm just in a predicament where next year I'm definitely going to plant them a few weeks later than I did this year. And then over here we have some more Sigoniums. This is like our neon pink Sigonium. And this is a milk confetti. Hard to see the pink on there, but it has pink dots. It's very pretty, actually. And then here we have a Sigonium starlight. They have really thinner, they're kind of like the elbow, but they have thinner leaves. Here is a Philodendron Splendid baby. These are all, this is a Splendid, this is a Splendid.
That's a splendid. This is a crystallinum, the red form. And here's a Sigonium rolli. It's supposed to be rolled up like that. That's why they call it rolli. It's actually a genetic mutation. Pretty neat. And then here's my Oxalis butterfly plant. Not a fan of those. They don't like me. I don't like them. We don't play well together. And then here's some more bloodleaf. All these came from one single little cutting that I took, and I just keep doing more and more. Same thing with this party time Alternathea. That's actually one of the favorite plants I own, this party time. It's absolutely stunning. And then here's another orange princess cutting I took. And yeah, more party time. There's an orange spider plant hiding in the back. And I gotta give a shout out to this pineapple plant. This pineapple plant is, I think, on its 3rd season now, maybe even 4th. But usually it goes outside as soon as it's warm enough, and then when it's too cold, it comes indoors. But when it comes indoors, it's so big, I never really have a place that it gets a sufficient amount of light that you'd think a pineapple plant would need. But I had it in the basement one year, just kind of near one of the basement windows that doesn't really get much light at all. And it did great. It didn't grow much, but it didn't die at all. It kind of just went into like a suspended animation, which was perfect. So this guy, he just kind of, I threw him up here. He's been here all winter. Didn't really grow much, but he's still perfectly healthy looking. And yeah, it'll go outside and then do its thing again. But definitely cool plant that it can survive almost darkness to full sun. Like, seems like a full range of conditions that this pineapple plant can deal with. And then last but not least, the living room display. Right, this is my front window. It gets evening sun for a couple hours. So here's another Califlower Freddy. Here's an Alizani. It's hard to see that this thing has beautiful, like, purpley, sparkly purple veins. Oh yeah, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous plant when you take a close look at it. Then here's a silver dragon, a dragon's breath. Look at the new leaf on this guy. Huge, silvery, gorgeous. And it's already got another one coming. It's a polka dot begonia. Red secret cupera. Again, in this light, it's hard to see. These are normally turned around facing the window. I turned them around for the video. And this is the Chinese money plant. It's getting nice and tall. Got lots of babies in there too. And then over here we have another cutting. Oh, this was actually the mother plant from my Ring of Fire philodendron. And then it keeps getting little side shoots like this guy. And I just keep cutting them off with these little pups. I call them pups, the little pups. Just cut them off and start a whole new plant. And then this guy just keeps growing from all different growth points. And then here's another pink lady, Peppermosa. And I believe that wraps up all of the plants.